Have you ever felt like giving up? Like you've done everything right, but your situation just doesn't change? Welcome to Divine Thread Stories, where we dive into powerful Bible narratives that inspire and transform lives. Today we're exploring a story of courage, hope, and unwavering faith. The story of the woman with the issue of blood. You might know her as the bleeding woman, but what she teaches us transcends any label. So if you've ever felt like giving up, stick around, because her journey will remind you, persistence in faith can change everything. Let's travel back to first century Judea, a land buzzing with marketplaces, dusty roads, and the anticipation of the Messiah's arrival. People from all walks of life flocked to hear Jesus teach. Charity cases mingled with religious leaders, and everyone whispered about his miracles. Imagine narrow alleys filled with merchants selling spices, vibrant fabrics, and the aroma of freshly baked bread drifting through the air. In the midst of this commotion lived a woman. She may never have been noticed in a crowd, but her story would echo for centuries. For 12 long years, she suffered from a condition that left her unclean by Jewish law. This meant she was shunned, isolated, and desperate for a miracle. 12 years, she had spent a decade plus longing for freedom from pain and rejection. Think about it. 12 years isn't just a number. That's over 4,000 mornings waking up to pain, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. According to Jewish purity laws, Leviticus 15:25-27, any woman experiencing a blood flow was considered ceremonially unclean. Touching her or anything she sat on risked making others unclean too. So she was forced to live on the fringes. No synagogue worship, no family celebrations, no social gatherings. Can you imagine the loneliness, the whispers behind her back? Every time she tried to find hope, she was reminded of her condition. And yet somewhere deep within her heart, a spark of faith remained, refusing to be extinguished by years of rejection. But then whispers of something extraordinary began to spread. Jesus of Nazareth was in town. Rumors of healings and stories of demons cast out reached her ears. Friends said he healed lepers, gave sight to the blind, and even raised the dead. When she first heard his name, hope flickered in her heart. Could this be her chance? Picture her, standing in a dimly lit room, candle flickering, as she listens to the news. Despite 12 years of disappointment, she dared to believe. And that belief sparked action, because faith without action is incomplete. Pathways to Jesus were never easy. Crowds pressed in from every direction, beggars pushed forward, curious onlookers jostled, and the air buzzed with excitement. She may have been tiny in stature, but her faith loomed larger than any throng. With trembling steps, she slipped out her modest cloak, ensuring it didn't reveal how her condition limited her. Beads of sweat formed on her brow, not just from the heat, but from anxiety mixed with anticipation. She remembered the countless times she'd tried rituals, physicians, and even rabbis, only to come away disappointed. But today, she told herself, would be different. Finally, she was within arm's reach. Jesus was walking, surrounded by his followers, when the woman realized if she could merely touch his garment, she'd be healed. Her fingers brushed the hem of his robe, light as a whisper, but monumental in faith. Instantly, she felt her body respond. 12 years of blood loss ceased. Like an electric current rushing through her veins, relief and joy flooded her entire being. She turned in the crowd trembling, not knowing if anyone else had noticed. But Jesus did. "Who touched me?" he asked, pausing in his steps. His disciples looked around in confusion. Millions touched him that day. Yet this was no ordinary touch. The woman, shaking like a leaf, fell at his feet. In a voice both resolute and trembling, she confessed everything.
I'm sorry.
Jesus looked down at her and said tenderly, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your affliction." Imagine the weight of those words, being called daughter by the Son of God, being told to go in peace after years of turmoil. At that moment, she wasn't just physically healed. She was embraced, accepted, and restored to community. Her bleeding didn't define her anymore. Faith did. Can you feel the joy coursing through her veins? Because we sure can. Friends, this story isn't just ancient history. It's a mirror reflecting our own struggles. Maybe you feel overlooked, wounded, or too broken to step forward. Remember her example. Persistent faith isn't about perfect circumstances. It's about believing something greater is within reach. So what do you need to touch today? What small act of faith can you take, even if it feels risky? Let us carry her courage into our own lives, knowing that when we step forward, God sees us, calls us his children, and offers healing beyond measure. If this story touched you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs hope today. Drop a comment below. What part of this woman's journey spoke to your heart? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay persistent in faith, and may you walk in peace.